Hey guys, I am here today to review this album Liberty by Kato MIliyah. Now this is her 2016 album and I purchased this in Japan. If you guys watched my haul back then, I did buy this from Tower Records and they only had this special edition left at that time that I was there, so I sprung for this, although I normally wouldn't. This review has been requested by a couple people, I think, one of who said this was their favorite album of all time. And I couldn't find your comment again, so I'm very sorry. Please comment down below and let me know your username so I can thank you properly for requesting this. I kind of slept on this album for a long time. Obviously it's 2019 now, but I was very skeptical of it and I didn't love the first couple of tracks, but I've actually been listening to this in my car for several months now and I ended up loving this album. So I think I showed you this in my haul a couple of years ago, but let me just show you again. This case is getting very well loved. As I said in the haul, it did get a little bit banged up when I took it home from Japan, and as I said, it's also been in my car for months now, like this whole case. So it comes with a DVD as well as the album CD and the booklet. MIliyah is going for a kind of like pastel goth but creepy sort of look in this one, but I really like these colored papers, and it also came with these postcards, so this huge set of postcards, which are all the album art photos. It also came with this note. I don't think I showed this in my haul video, but I can only read like simplified Japanese and like 20 kanjis, so I cannot read like handwritten Japanese to save my life. Or even when they use like a slightly weird font, I can't read it at all. So yeah, that's the special edition and it's still available on CD Japan. I just checked last night, so if you want this edition, still you are in luck. The title track opens the album Liberty. It has some interesting synth noises when it opens up, but it does have an EDM drop in it, which really threw me off, and that as well as the next few songs are what turned me off of this album for so long, but I ended up liking it nowadays. Even though I'm not that fond of EDM, it's not too obnoxious. The next song I still don't really like. It is called Future Lover, and with a kanji title that I believe says Mirai Koibito, which is basically like the Japanese translation of Future Lover. MIliyah sampled a Daft Punk song in this track, but it doesn't seem to fit to me. There was a short time, I mean, this album came around after that where it was kind of trendy music to sample Daft Punk, and I am actually a big fan of Daft Punk, so you would think I would like this, but I just felt like the sample was really misused. The song stands on its own without the Daft Punk edition, so the Daft Punk just kind of feels like a gimmick to me. Unfortunately, it's followed up by Want You Back, which is a very traditional piano ballad, and it's very forgettable and boring. So sorry I skipped through those tracks kind of fast, but I wanted to get to the tracks that I actually really like. So coming up on track 4 is Utakata no Hibi, and this is a very pleasant album track that's synth heavy and MIliyah's voice comes in very gentle. So this is where the album started to pick up for me and it really started to get my attention. Next up we have Wannabe, and no, it's not the Spice Girls song, but it is about MIliyah giving shout outs to some people who are trying to copy her, and she wants to be special. So it's a little bit of a silly song, but it's fun, and if you watch my previous MIliyah review, you would know that I absolutely love when she speaks English in her songs. She just sounds so cool. And I don't know what it is exactly about her when she speaks or sings in English, but yeah, she definitely brought that on this album and on this song. Track 6 is This Is My Party, and it ties in really well to the previous song. I think this has potential to be a crowd pumping type of song in a live tour. By the way, I've never seen a live tour of MIliyah's. I've looked at clips on YouTube, but I've never actually purchased one of her Blu-rays, so if you have one to recommend to me, please let me know. I also really like that she says diamond in the rough in the lyrics of this song. It's like a throwback to one of her songs of Loveland. Next up we have a song called Mirror Mirror, and this is actually my second favorite song on this album. I really like these repeated lyrics. I just want to love you baby the way you love me. It opens with very light synth again, but with a hip-hop bass added in. The lyrics are just very catchy. MIliyah keeps her voice mostly soft throughout the song. She has almost like a beckoning tone, which I find is the appealing part of the song. Next up is Tengoku no Doa, which means the door to heaven, and I'm so lucky that my second favorite track is followed up by my #1 favorite track, and this is actually my new favorite song by MIliyah of all time. So I recommend watching my review of Loveland if you have not already, but this song is almost like a counterpart to my favorite song off of Loveland called Reisei Tojo Netsu no Aiwa, or was it just Reisei Tojo Netsu? I don't remember. But similarly, this song is very dramatic and the music gives us this sense of like waves coming to shore and pulling away again. It's almost haunting, especially MILIYAH's vocals on this song. I really love how she goes from a very soft, almost whispering voice to where she is doing this somewhat airy belting where it sounds like she's leaning away from the mic, and it's almost like her voice is being carried by the waves. So in addition to the oceanic visuals I'm getting from this, I also was able to infer the meaning of the song before I ever looked at the full translation of it, both from the little bit of Japanese that I do understand and just the overall like mood that is carried throughout the whole song. And it made me picture like the whole music video that I would do for this, which I don't know if I really want to share because it's very dark. But rest assured, this is an amazing song, and yeah, I think it definitely deserves to be my new favorite by MILIYAH. Next is Shonen Shoujo, which means boy, girl. I've also seen it translated as boys and girls. I like this song, but it has some good songs to follow up, so it is not my favorite. It is kind of unique on this album that it is more acoustically based, and it has almost like an enka influence to it. So after the first chorus, they added more instruments, like a little bit of an electric guitar and drums. And I will say the chorus is very catchy and it's very fun to sing along to. I also like MILIYAH's use of chikusho in the lyrics. I feel like that word is not really used in J-pop anymore. And the next song is Climax, and I am not too sure what MILIYAH is getting at with the meaning of the song. As the beginning of the chorus, she says hitori de climax, which means on my own or alone, so you can infer what you will about that. But other than that, I like this song pretty well as well. It's a very pleasant album track, and I usually don't skip it when I'm listening to this album. Climax leads directly into the next track, which is Babylon, and I expected this song to be like very epic and like traditional sounding from the name, but it is more modern sounding. I think from the lyrics that this song is maybe more about the flow of time and being carried by that. And I really enjoyed the more deeper tones that MILIYAH used in her voice in this song. And again, I really like her use of English in this song. And again, the ending of that song leads directly into fashion. And I can't help but compare this song but to Namie's attempt at a similar song, Fashionista, but I really enjoyed this version by MILIYAH a lot better. It's slightly less cheesy than Namie's, but it is still like a somewhat silly song. But the song is about MILIYAH using her sense of fashion to express who she is. Her naming of like brand name clothes is a little silly, but sometimes I skip the song, sometimes I don't. It really depends on what mood I'm in, so it ends up being an okay song for me on this album. The next song is Megami no Hikari, which means goddess or goddesses of light. And it is featuring another artist credited as Makoto slash Mikey from Tokyo Gay. I've never heard of him before, but I ended up really liking his addition to this song. The lyrics in the song are very ethereal as well as the strings used in it, but then the chorus kind of changes up with this pounding beat and energy. So yeah, I really liked how the voices blended together, that MILIYAH shared the song with him, like he gets his own verse, he's not just her backup singer, but he does kind of like let her take over during the choruses. There's a very dramatic breakdown at the bridge of the song with these kind of like aggressive sounding spoken voices, and this is another song of hers that gave me very strong visuals where I just pictured like this dark garden that they would be like performing in with like these creepy statues and stuff. Next up is Memories, and this is among my favorites on the album right now too, and this is a slightly melancholy and sleepy heartbreak song. And this gave me very strong visuals again for a potential music video where MILIYAH has been left behind at a beach house where she had like a whirlwind romance with some guy and they had some fight, and we see that through her memories, so like black and white flashbacks or something. She's talking about in the song like how her memories are all over this house. This is another one where I think her English is very cool in this song. The next song is Piece of Cake, but it's written in katakana like pisu abu keiki. It also has a Japanese title, Aiwo Kakebo, I believe, which means shouting love. And this is featuring another male artist named Kazunobu Mineta, who is a punk singer. Honestly, most of the time I'm not in the mood for this song. It is a little bit too loud and bombastic, especially after the song Memories. It kind of like wakes you back up because it starts off very loud right off the bat. Kazunobu is a bit older than MILIYAH. He's in his 40s, I believe, and he kind of brought this like older style Japanese rock to this song, which is honestly not my favorite, and this song ends up being among my least favorites on the album. I sometimes skip it when listening to it. Next up on track 16 is a song called Hikari, which means light, and this is a bright, fittingly bright, reggae influenced happy love song, and it's a nice break from some of the melancholy songs that I like on this album. And it's another rather pleasant album track, but it has a little bit of a reggae influence, which also makes it stand out from some of the other tracks. And the last song it raps on is Lipstick. Again, it's written in the katakana, so the Japanese pronunciation would be like lipstick. And this is a single, so I was kind of surprised that a single would end the album, but I thought like the sound of it was very fitting, and the song overall makes me want to just go back and listen to this album all over again. Although this meaning of the song is a little bit melancholy again, I really love her voice, and I love the chorus, and the synth in the chorus is kind of this lulling noise that I personally just really like. And I really love how she pronounces the chorus, some of the lyrics. So she says in Japanese, akai na lipstick kuchibiru. I guess she shortened the two words to make them sound more melodic, because in Japanese lipstick would end with a ku syllable, and then she says the word for mouth kuchibiru, which also starts with ku, so she joined them together to take less of the harsh syllables out, I guess. And that just sounds like kind of cool and gangster to me. So I really like that. This song is about MIliyah feeling unable to find anything to comfort her sadness and loneliness. But despite that, I find I am always in a good mood after I listen to the song, because I think it's just such a strong track. So that was it for the album. I actually went through that pretty fast, even though it's 17 tracks long. Even though I didn't like the first few, we still get quite a few tracks despite those. So yeah, I've got to give this one a really high recommendation, even though there are a few misses on it for me. There's quite a few different genres included on here, and MIliyah is really showing her strength throughout this album. Also, I don't think I've mentioned this before, MIliyah writes all her songs, and the more and more I keep listening to her, the more I'm falling in love for her voice and her songwriting. Her songwriting is just amazing to me. So if you haven't checked her out, I really highly recommend her, and I really highly recommend this album as well as the last one I reviewed on my channel, Loveland. I still love that album a lot. I swore I had reviewed another one of her albums on my channel, but I guess I didn't, so I'm looking forward to reviewing more by her. I do have her 2 newer albums after this one as well. So yeah, I'm really loving MIliyah. She has quickly become one of my top favorite artists from Japan. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review, and I'm excited to be back doing album reviews finally. So please let me know what you thought of this album, if you have checked it out or if you are planning on checking it out. And again, big thank you to anyone using my CD Japan links. The links will be down below, and I will see you guys soon in my next review.